Ejije. Chris is Group Manager, Corporate Affairs, Arise Television. Chris, good to see you.
Thank you.
Of course, you know Ayo very well. Ayo Ejubaku is of television, TVC News. Ayo, good to see you too. And of course, the other face that is very new to you is that of Abdurrahman Abdurrauf. Abdurrauf is editor Blueprint. Abdurrauf, good to see you.
Thank you, my brother.
Alright, so Minister, good to see you again. It's been a busy time for you. 3 weeks of commissioning, non-stop. At the end of the day, about 15 projects commissioned. The president, we have the honor of hosting the president personally, at least 4 times during that period. We commissioned about 4 of the projects personally. This must make you feel, so, special that you could drag the president up and down at least 4 times in the last 3 weeks.
Well, Benja, thank you very much. I was not dragging the president up and down. Rather, the president had the interest to see that the people of Abuja, the residents of Abuja, are happy with what he's doing. And so that affords him the opportunity to see for himself what he has done to us. The president personally attended 5 times. 5 times. One was the commissioner of the rehabilitation of the Bola Metwebu International Conference Center. Another one he attended was the interchange at the Gleshi area. And then another one was the Abuja Delta Water, and then another one was the A2 Pi Road, and then flagging off of the annex of the Independent Electoral Commission. So he has attended 5 times personally and has mandated the Senate President, the Speaker, the Deputy Senate President, and the Vice President to take responsibility of what I was, of course, because of the numerous engagements. If you recollect, the Speaker represented him in commissioning the Mabuchi bus to Taxi Terminal, and then also commissioning the Kabusa Keti road of 9.5 kilometers. And again, the Speaker represented in commissioning the access roads in the Nkiri district. And then the Senate President represented him in commissioning the Sussex from Apo Mechanic to Wasa. And also represented and commissioning the Kubo bus to Taxi Terminal, and also representing Mr. President in the interchange of the M20 leading to the Northern Parkway. Mr. Vice President has represented Mr. President in commissioning the CN8 Attila Road, which was done 2 days ago. Yesterday, Mr. Vice President represented Mr. President in commissioning the Oshafa Army War College and other roads that up to 16.4 kilometers. By the grace of God, it will be running up tomorrow. The Vice President commissioning, going to Wamala to commission the Palace roads and the region Nigeria and all other roads, which is about 10.something kilometers. So, the whole thing was done by President, but it will be impossible for President to, for 16 days, personally. But what is important, every important public officer represented Mr. President, for the level of Vice President to the the Deputy Senate President, to the Senate President, to the Speaker, and the Deputy Senate President. So that's where we are. So we're not just dragging President up and down, rather we're celebrating the works of Mr. President.
Exactly how you've been on the marathon this while commissioning projects. Are there some projects you would have loved to add to this batch of commissioning that perhaps for some reason are not in this batch and you hope to get commissioned?
Yes. In fact, as I speak to you, we looked at the whole thing and we have to divide it into two segments. We believe that from September we have the opportunity of inviting Mr. President and sometimes maybe the head of judicial decision to be able to commission the Abuja division of the Court of Appeal, and then the residential quarters of the justices of the Court of Appeal, judges of the Federal High Court, and that of the FCT High Court, and some other rules like Kabusa, Yakushera. So many projects were lined up. It was impossible for us, President, the President of the country, you have a lot of engagement, so we'll try to split them, so that's what we're doing.
Chris?
Okay, thank you very much. No doubt you've given the Federal Capital Territory a first lift. One would somehow begin to wonder if we had leadership within this area in the past years. But when you were making your initial answering his question, you made reference to the flag off of the construction of the INEC headquarters. After that flag off, tongues were wagging. INEC is supposed to be an independent body, take care of their own issues, and the executive is coming to dabble into their own exclusive affairs. So are you worried?
I'm not worried about tongues wagging. Tongues will always wag. What you must know is that, and to the glory of God, the chairman of Mahmoud Yakubu did say every of their structural buildings and everything has already been done by FCD. All public buildings have been carried out by FCD. It has nothing to do or interfering with your work. Even where they are today, the main headquarters was built by FCD. So there's nothing new about FCD constructing an office space and hand over to them. In fact, most ministries, as I speak to you now, the president has directed that we provide accommodation for those of livestock. So all public buildings are always carried out by FCD, through FCD that has been there. But you see, like you have said, there's nothing you do that people who do not mean well for this country will not criticize. So how does that interfere in the independence of the INEC? If you also say so, it also means that even when you provide structures and logistics for the police, for the army security, you are also interfering. They ought to carry out their duties independently. And for me, this country can move forward when we begin to belittle on issues that will not help us to grow. The INEC chairman, Pastor Mahmoud Yakubu, right up from day one, whichever name you may call it, whether NEC, whatever you may call it. As they came into Abuja, every structure they have is built by FCT through FCDA. So there's nothing new. The president said, look, they've complained of sort of accommodation, and you have to provide a befitting accommodation so that they don't go start renting and being embarrassed by landlords and the rest. So we should commend the government for taking bold step instead of really means to everything you do. I think that's not fair.
I'll follow up on that.
Follow up. This is democracy, sir. People will hold you accountable for whatever you do as a public officer. And people are still talking about the International Conference Center.
Yes.
They are saying that it was built by the military regime of self-styled President Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida.
Yep.
And it was built for 200 and something million, and you ended up renovating it for 39 billion or 40 something billion. But as a matter of fact, that you now went ahead to name it Bola Ahmed Tinubu International Conference Center.
Yes.
That it was wrong. That it wasn't this administration that built that edifice. If there's anything, it should be named after Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida, if you are going to name it at all.
I like that. Very good. Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport was built by Nnamdi Azikiwe. Moshood Abiola Stadium was built by Moshood Abiola. Why do we reduce ourselves? That you built something means it will be named after you. Certainly not.
Not necessary. No.
Certainly not. That I built a bus terminal to be named after me.
No.
So why would it be named after the man who you said that built it?
So after renovation, what did you name it after Tinubu?
Hold on. 1991, that place was built. 1991 by Julius Berger. We have had presidents. Nobody had deemed it necessary to say, look, how can you have something that was built in 1991? When Mr. President last year went to inaugurate the ECOWAS Parliament, it was embarrassing. It takes a leader who has quality, who has vision. He came in, the next thing he did was to call his representative and called me. Is it an International Conference Center? Is it what we are telling West African countries, and that is what we have? Is it the kind of image we are projecting Nigeria? He said, no, he won't take this. And I apologized to him about my first time of coming to that place. And that this was what happened. The place was given to a politician from Adamawa State, a senator. You can't believe that is the only thing we have to showcase to the world in case we're having international conferences and this. Where do they go to? Must they go to a hotel? And the president said, no, this cannot happen. And give me a marching order, this has to be done, shut it down, and you must do everything humanly possible within a short time. We did what we call under emergency procurement. If we are going through the normal processes, it will take you 1 year, 1.5 years. But the law allows us to go under emergency procurement. And we looked at who are those who built this or who built this without finding out it was Julius Berger. But again, let me come to say something. When you say 200 million, you know, people talk for talking's sake. You built it in 1991, 200 million. What was the exchange rate? What was the exchange rate in 1991? And what's the exchange rate now? The only thing that we didn't do in that structure was to bring the whole thing down. Every everything was removed. I'm sure if you go there today, you'll be happy for them. Now let me tell you how this country works. The man they gave it to was paying to the FCT every year 50 million naira. As I speak to you, that place was commissioned in June 10. Do you know the revenue was made within 3 weeks? 650 million naira.
3 weeks.
3 weeks.
Already.
650 million naira. But this was somebody giving us 50 million naira a year. What? That is the country we are in. 50 million naira a year. And we have realized 650 million naira in 3 weeks. Why? People love good things. The president hosted the equal access of state in that international conference center. Go and see the comments from ambassadors. People are rushing that place now. In fact, there's no space. As I speak to you, it has been booked up to 2027. Really? Yes. You know, the country we are in is a place that if you begin to pay attention to frivolities, you won't achieve anything. If I listen to, when I shut down that place, if I tell you comments from high-ranking Nigerian senators, ministers, oh, this man was one of our men, and that's what does that have to do with me? What we are talking about, is it what Nigeria should present to the world that they have? And now you are saying, why did I name it after brother? Who should I name it after? Tell me, who is more qualified?
You probably would have left it as international.
What is called International Conference Center? What is called International Conference Center?
For the fathers.
Excuse me, we have IBB, hold on. We have IBB International Golf Course. Is that correct? Why did you leave it International Golf Course? We have IBB International Golf Course.
There is the question of continuity. After the tenure of the president, whether in the next 4 or so...
You cannot change it. Because there was nobody's name, we never change anybody's name. International Conference Center is not a name to anybody. And it's still outside. You always say, Bola Ahmed Tinubu International Conference Center.
You're confident that no one will come after you?
If you do that, maybe you have something. You cannot change when it is named after somebody. You go and remove the name and go and give it another person. International Conference Center is nobody's name. It's nobody's name. Have you heard anybody answer International Conference Center? So if they have given it, say, Benga, International Conference Center, and then I come and remove Benga, then you will be there. Why would you remove Benga? I give to Chris. In this case, it is named International Conference Center. And what is the International Conference Center? We must have to apologize.
What's your response to the allegation of this is a case of extreme psychopathy?
What is psychopathy then? Knowing me very well, what is psychopathy? Psychopathy that somebody showed leadership. Psychopathy that somebody had given support for me to achieve what was achieved. It's only when the person dies. We would like to remember the dead. But we don't want to remember people who are alive, who are putting up their energy to make sure the country gets better. It's only when they die you remember them. I will not do that.
But some will say that he's doing what he's elected to do, as the leader of the country.
So, but some people that were elected and they didn't do. What about those who were elected and they didn't do it? So if you're elected and you are doing it, why not say, look, this people have done it? And let us recognize you. Okay. What do you lose that is named after him? Tell me.
Your Excellency, quite recently, we are seeing so many, monuments, projects being named after Mr. President. We're having roads, we're having schools, polytechnics, and now International Conference Center and all that. Past leaders didn't really do that.
I don't know about the schools. Tell me any president that was not named, that are not named in terms of roads. Yeah. Mention one. Mention one. Why should his own man be problem? You have a representative of the Bolivar. You have IBB. You have Buhari. You have So what is all this? Kulabanu that we name after president and this. Who would name him? We name it after Abramas. Not only. We name after Professor Ewolo Shenga. Why do you not criticize that?
It's the optics of it. Some people say that there are other issues that should be taking attention, not people being distracted by they say they are hungry and then everything is being named after the president.
What that hunger has got to do with? I named this place in the name of somebody. What has that got to do with hunger? It's the money that cost for the fact that I named a hall after somebody.
Being sensitive to the sentiments being expressed.
Who are those expressing that?
Nigerians.
People generally.
Who are the people? The people who are from the one do not want to see you. The people who are from the one have opposed him. I mean, let us focus on what will move the country forward. I don't know how naming and anything like that in favor of Mr. President will stop hunger or will increase hunger. How?
Okay, Honorable Minister, let's end the issue of projects this way. Your first year, about 9 projects commissioned?
Yeah.
About 15 or so now. And now, if I know you too well, you already have something on paper for for next year, for the next one year.
Yes.
What are the projects that you have
planned? The car part of the man. Don't worry.
Okay.
All you should work whether we got the subject to showcase doing us very well. You know. We don't know what will be maybe more than what we have done now. Remember, last year we did 7 days.
So
this year we have done 16 days. We are doing 16 days.
3 weeks.
So it means that the likelihood in the 3rd year it may be 20 days. But you see, what does it tell you? Today I'm happy. Even when we go to a commission project, you should go with placard. Please remember us here. Remember us here. Remember us here. It makes me happy. Has anybody before gone to say, okay, remember us here? Nobody. It gives us that happy. Oh, look, for the first time, a president, Senate president, we go to rural areas. Who have seen president in the rural area before? That tells you that the way they feel for the city is also the way they feel for the satellite town. So all this, people should, I've always told people, you don't need to like me. But I'm not doing the right thing. Look at what's happening in the FCT today. Nigerians are angry. Nigerians are angry. Nigerians are angry that we're providing roads everywhere in FCT. All those who say Nigerians are angry, they're all living here in Maitama, in Asokoro, using the interchanges and flyovers. They are not saying those things. They've not come to say, look, you have done well here. Everything you hear, Nigerians are angry.
Okay, I think some of the...
Okay.
Okay, I think some of the concern, there was protest by primary school teachers, and children have been out of school for about 3 months. We know that you have a meeting schedule, but why is it taking so long? I mean, couldn't this have been addressed a little earlier?
Okay, I thought you would have said that what steps are taken to resolve the problem. But you know the background. You know, that is what I've always told people, that I'm sorry to say this. I'm sorry to say, I'm going to do personally with you. We have to do with our kind of journalism. We don't carry out what we call investigative journalism. You don't see somebody carrying placards and that. Are you going to find out whose responsibility? It's not our responsibility.
It's the local government.
It's the area council. Several times we have come to intervene. Have you had any secondary school that's going to strike? Have you had a we don't pay workers their salaries? Remember too, you are going to talk about autonomy of local government. You are forcing me to seize their funds. Tomorrow is the governors, FCT minister, always collect the money from the allocation of the local government. Is that responsibility? We have come together. We said, listen, the last time we have to bail them out 60% of the money. This time around we start. And also, the teachers should also try to understand too. We know, and that's one of the problems we hold in this country today, of our top of democracy, of top of federalism. Where you fix minimum wage for everybody without considering the peculiarities. Now, you have said this is what they're going to end. But you've not found that. What is allocation to these area councils? And how much do they make? Do they have the capacity to pay this? Why would they have allowed them to negotiate? But again, it has happened, it has happened.
Good.
Again, I do not have the power to seize their funds. It requires intervention. Mind you, we don't have any assembly. Our assembly is the House of Rep and Senate. So I cannot unilaterally take action except they amend the law. I cannot. So, when I start on the council, listen, in negotiations, it's give and take. You two must face a reality. You see, one problem we have with labor is they like, who will say you should not earn their wages or whatever? Who will do that? But the reality is, with what they are facing, with the funds available to them, can they? Certainly not. However, you can say, okay, let us take it in phases. What they are talking about is arrears. Do you know how much you are talking about? About 18 billion naira. And I said, look, it's not in dispute, it's not in doubt. Even some of the demands they make are outrageous. Don't do respect. But however, we have struggled, and this other, and they have got it, it's okay. Do you know what, which is even illegal, what I've done? By seizing the 10% IGR of the area councils. May and June, I said, don't give to them. Let's calculate it, how much is it? Let's see how much we can put in.
With their consent?
Now you're talking about consent.
Yeah.
You see, now you're talking about consent. These are the things.
Yeah.
So if you follow the way it's supposed to be, the legal aspect of it, you know what I'm doing is not constitutional. You know that?
Yes.
It's not. However, this is where public interest now overrides. It's okay. Look, should we continue to allow our children to be at home simply because by law you have no power to do it. So it's not every time we talk law. I don't want, they have not favored you journalists will come out. They have no such powers.
Yes. But there is a danger in that, isn't it?
What do I do? What do I do? Do you want me to wait for amendments? How long will it take? Then it can take you to 1 year.
But are these solutions sustainable? Because if you handle the situation
what is sustainable is the law of the amendment. But in amending that law, it will take a long time. And then you continue to, if I do not give you his background now, you will not have even the Federal Ministry of Education issued a statement. It is not FCT. It is area council, like you said, local government council. It's like in the states now. You are always salary. You are saying federal government has not done anything. What is the business of the federal government? They're giving you your allocation. You campaign to be this. You go and solve your problem.
Are we saying that even the responsibility of paying primary school teachers is beyond the capacity of local governments and area councils? Are we saying so?
I think so. I believe so. Let me tell you. I say it here. When you see the staff of the FCT, you will ask yourself, how did I sit there? Almost 50,000 workers. How? As I speak to you now, the salary is about almost 13 billion every month. Now, what do we get from the federal government? If the federal government gets 800 billion naira a month, they give me 1%. 1% of 800 billion is 8 billion naira. It's 8 billion naira. With 8 billion naira, can I pay the salary with the minimum wage? Can I pay the allowances that health hazard risk? This all kinds. It's only in Nigeria I see all kinds of things. I heard they went and locked the gate, right? No worker, but they are taking their salary. Now have you asked? You lock gate, but your salary will be paid.
Okay, Your Excellency, ordinarily, yes. You've given a whole lot of explanations.
Yes.
Plausible, no doubt. But knowing you, one would have still expected that the strike by primary school teachers would not last this long, that you would have intervened early enough. But that is one
I thought we did intervene, but the workers, the teachers, have not been realistic. That it will be difficult for this from just once. It will be difficult. Allow them to pay in phases. That's what I said here. I'm not saying that the area council don't also have their own portions of blames, I'm not saying that. But we must be realistic. Government is not done. Government is not run that way.
But the councils have no problem with the kind of Marshall Plan that you propose now, which is warehouse their own share of your internally generated revenue and then augment it by probably up to 50%.
So go to court. And whether you like it or not, the issue is, do you have a right to stop their funds? No, but do you have a right? Certainly not. But again, on the human face, you are ready to take the risk. Yeah. And I just want you to also bear with us. Yeah. That it is not easy. These are our challenges. These are problems for us.
Okay, so
with the FCT experience, particularly regarding this teacher strike, would you want to advocate the kind of a constitutional review in terms of what should be the responsibility?
Yeah, we do that.
At least to make a payment of
yeah. So that's why you see In most states, sometimes when you say states are tapping,
Yes.
we look at government funds. It's not this primary school teachers that are always. Because they don't want anything that will make teachers to sit at home. So it gives room now to interfere in local government allocation.
Now, just to pursue what he said about long-term solutions, because is it possible to start now and perhaps get some law put in place before your time in office is up?
The chairman of FCT and the chairman of area councils in the House of Reps, they will all be here today. We have met and they've all agreed to see how they will propose some amendments that will see how we'll be able to, be doing this kind of problems in the future. And they appreciate and agree that people don't have the facts about the entire scenario. I didn't ask them, why do you lock up FCT? Why not go to the area councils and lock up? Well, you're not under me. So why do you come here to lock the gate, cry and carry children to come and to still don't bother me? What bother is that? You cannot see the future of the children, not being allowed to go. It's not fair.
So I guess they come to you because they believe you are someone that don't take no for an answer. You get things done.
Or probably because of the community project all over the place.
Because it affects them. The project, I was well to not use the money to do the project. After all, I'm not the first minister here.
Talking about projects, sir,
Yes.
a lot of people, now that there's this protest within the FCTA workers over issues bordering on salaries. Yes, you could commission projects and everything, but we're now talking about welfare of your staff.
What is the welfare? What are they entitled to that have not been paid?
Workers' salaries.
First of all, it's unfortunate. We believe that the moment you go to the gate and block the gate, that will make it to get where they're supposed to get. First of all, I want the head of service is the head of the workers. As far as I'm concerned, I do not know what workers are. It's not my business. It is the head of service that puts it to say, look, I've seen where they have brought fire, pay this, and that. Of course I pay. They're talking about, they've not done their promotion, no promotion. All kinds of things. We just started the minimum wage. Increase minimum wage. Then the next day talk about promotion. All these things are kind of financial implications. But,
Honorable Minister,
everybody is just talking about, I want to end this, I want to end this. And nobody wants development. Can you hear any alone bring development?
Should go together.
No, but that's not what we're doing. The government has just increased the minimum wage. Then the next 2 hours, give us promotions. Come on.
is it a function of the law that this is not what you want to write?
When you begin to apply the law. See, what is this government cannot take all its funds for payment of salaries. It means there is no school. It means there is no road. Who gets it done? And then when government says, okay, let me say I can collect the taxes. It's all no. Where does government get the money from? Particularly as concerns FCT. Where do they go? What about taxes? And people I'll just give you the analysis how much you get from federal government, assuming they give 800 billion a month, which does not apply. Assuming. So you need more money to ask to pay the salaries, not to talk about the infrastructure. Therefore, we now want the people like you who live in Maitama, who live in Asoko, who live in Wuse, they are taxes. No poor man lives in all these areas. No poor man.
Yeah, you did say when you came on that you wouldn't mind taxing the rich, hurting them to get things done for public good, but...
I will step on toes.
Yes, yes.
So the one which hunt.
No, I didn't say which hunt. I said hurt the rich to get...
No, but what are they hurting?
No, okay.
No, you know you can hurt somebody by being wicked.
Sure.
But if I allow the law to take place, it hurts you. It's a normal business.
Okay, so I was actually
still on the
going
issue of
to...
promotion, sorry. Still on the issue of promotion, which of course your workers at the FCTA are raising. We recall when you were governor in Rivers State, you also commissioned lots and lots of projects.
Yes.
Roads,
Yes.
Flyovers.
Yes.
The workers also raised the issue on promotion, no promotion, you know, and it's like the lightning striking at some same point the second time.
You are correct. You know, if I tell you, like I've said, okay, take for example, the promotion you're talking about, they didn't have their promotion before I came. He did not kill anybody. It is now I came. Now you now know that promotion was being done. A government was there. You never even see me hyper. That you see me commissioning project has become a pocket. If the projects have not been done, we have been hyper. In any case, must you protest before you think that really? I said I was not going to say them. I'm not going to say them.
What is the level of the involvement of workers in all of these projects? Probably that is what is informing their production.
One place,
They want to be the contractors who are they don't want to be the contractors. Now working the system here. So many things we are not working. Now because we are going to change things, they are not happy about it. Who is the executive? What would you? Procurement, all those things. I want civil servants. I'm not the one. Now you lock the gate. I just ask a simple question. You lock the gate, but they are paying salary. Where did they stay to sign that salary that they are paying? Okay. So I thought, since there will be no work, let nobody go and sign your salary. You will collect the salary, tell you sign for that crisis, and then you lock the gate. So I can say, I don't go to work. The gate has been locked. I have no access to my office. Treasurer cannot go. So where will you collect your salary from? But show me yesterday. They've not even asked where did I stay to sign the salary. They are collecting. What I will not take is threat. What I will not take is intimidation. I will not do it. Because there are processes. You write to me. This and this, I need to share your size. What is there? What's the position?
But at least they got your attention now.
But you just go and carry the placard to embarrass me. Because some persons are using you because of achievements we have to recollect. I will not listen to you.
Yeah, but you got your attention now.
I'm going to be the commissioner tomorrow.
But you got your attention. Sorry.
If I enjoy my life, I will come back. Yes, I'll do it.
But they got your attention now. Are you having an emergency meeting with them?
No, not anything.
Okay. I thought the workers were also involved, announced and all of them.
Like what I'm saying, you have not written to me to say, look, these are your problems.
But they're giving you another notice of 20 days or so?
I am going to get for 3 days. Continue. You know, the only thing we tend to do here is only when politicians use you, give you some money. I was watching video, what one of them was saying, so embarrassing in staff. And you can see they are trying to be a politician. And I will face him as a politician. At that appropriate time, I will tell him that, look, you know, but what you don't know, you don't go in. What you don't know, you don't go in. As a civil servant, look at the kind of statement you are making. You are talking now like a politician, that you have people backing you. It's okay.
Talking about achievements and the array of projects you're doing, are you worried that beggars are coming back to Abuja streets? In fact, if you get to some junctions, they even attack motorists. Are you concerned about that?
Perhaps attached to that is also the issue of the poor waste management in the FCT.
You have no poor waste management. We are talking about beggars. Now let me tell you something. Even like I always said, these beggars, I think are coming from somewhere. You remember I went to defend my project in the Senate. The Senate said I should provide for these beggars. So what I will do, beggars from Abia, they will not live Abia. Beggars from Kaduna, they will not live Kaduna. Beggars from Imo, Rivers, so go to all. They will not move into Abuja. Now it's not my responsibility to provide for
Them.
For them. Who does that? Who does that? And then when you begin to say, listen, where are you coming from? Take them back. It's because, first of all, ethnicity will come, religion will come. This is not for Christ's sake. This is a city. This is the capital of a country. This is the capital of a country. You cannot tell me that you are not able to carry out the responsibility in your areas, and then it becomes a burden for that state to carry. How do you say that? But again, we are being very careful. You know, as I yesterday, we met with security agencies, we are providing the logistics, we also have scavengers and this, trying to destroy what we have.
I'm not sure there's a connection though, but my colleague did a report not too long ago about one chance, increasing cases of one chance in Abuja.
You don't carry correct stories.
She did, she spoke to people who are victims.
But you know, I always say this, beggar. No, it is beggar. I agree with you. I agree with money. Yes, I agree with that from beggars. But the issue of one child is not correct. Give us credit that we have been able to reduce the level of security in FCT. Give us that credit. Why is it difficult for people to give credit to government? The only thing we do is to bring challenges. We don't talk about progresses that have been made. I use a bad system. I have never seen, that's why I said, investigative journalism. Where did we get this report from? Where did this happen?
It's all
There are
about.
people who spoke.
Minister, it's all about. We just sit back.
Why not hold on? You get feedback from who?
I beg that it's
Let me tell you. You get feedback, look at the post, the director. How you gave your son 2,000 hectares of land. That cost about $3.something billion.
Oh, so
No, hold on. These are the kind of things you write. Even you sitting down on your own.
Not all credible platforms take that.
Miss journalist, you don't tell me that.
Somebody close to me was picked by one chance people.
One of the
Some beggar in Abuja here.
My problem with you, when an incident happened, the United States is rampant. For Christ's sake, you cannot say in a city, you cannot have a crime. It's not correct. And we must, and that's what I've always said, that it happened in Beggar last night, for example. That don't mean that it's not rampant. You cannot say, you cannot have an incident of kidnap. You cannot say that. We're in this war. Even in America, the most developed in terms of technology and the rest of it. You cannot say that. But the point we're making is, have we done something that you can say today that insecurity has really come down in everything? You're not even talking about that. All you are picking, all my friends called me last night. So, for how long have they called you? For the past 6 months, I will never call you. Just they called you one last night. That has not made it. You're not being fair to the system.
Honorable Minister.
You must balance your stories.
All right.
Give us credit for what we have done. Okay. And then come up to say these are challenges that we are seeing.
All right, sir. We need to go on a quick break. When we get back, you will still be answering that question on waste management in the FCT. You said it's not a problem. People say it's a problem. And I can point out to areas where waste management is a problem in Abuja. But we'll go on a quick break. When we come back, we'll have that at the back of our mind. Is ministerial shot, we are on the break. may just joining us, his ministerial chart with the Honorable Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, His Excellency Eze Wiki. We've just done 1 hour now. We are going coasting through on the last segment. Largely to be politics. But before we get there, there were some issues that we were alluding to. I would like you to properly track them out. Is it true that you allocated 40,000 plots of land, Abuja land? 200,000, not 40,000 indeed, of plots to yourself, your sons, and your cronies. Sorry sir, let me just say. Yeah, the second one still related to land, from 11,000 hectares to 4,000 meters. University of Abuja land. How just is that? And is it actually right to accuse an institution like that of land grabbing and all of that?
I would like you to clarify this. Now let me tell you, see, sometimes they want to call that since you don't reply. There are certain stories you come and tell me. And I'll tell you, thank you, will you get up from my office? First of all, I played it down my Tama. And that's okay. Where we have 2,000 hectares of land. Ordinary mathematics just tell you that. And then for the value of $3.something billion, it is talking about almost 4-5 trillion now. And then you want me to stay to listen to you. These are the kind of things I tell people. There are stories you come and tell me. Okay, he gave his son 4,000 square feet of land. Okay, maybe it's correct. For example, I can look at, let me listen to it. But all this rubbish. I know where it's coming from. I know it's from another state. I'm aware. You see, what you cannot do to anybody, it doesn't make sense. In any case, for example, assuming do not consider, you apply to me to allocate land to you, right? Because you're a citizen of Nigeria. My children are not citizens. They are Ghanaians. Assuming do not consider, doesn't make sense. I'm not sure if I look at the envelope, if I look at the file, most of it was applied for land. So you want me to see that allocate to you? Now if my children apply, they are not entitled because I'm the minister.
Did you give your children any plot of land at all?
I have told you, bring the document.
You said the allegation is coming from Adamawa. Adamawa is big. Yes, is this from your friend, the governor?
I have told you that, forget about that, my friend, you know what? So the point I'm making that, you see, what you call empirical evidence. Empirical evidence. I sit here, I cite so many things, I see so many people, I call former ministers, governors, and this, National Assembly members. It was alleged that my agency was where I was signed. Now, let me tell you, when they gave minister land, I told my agency sign, give it to me. When I go to FEC, I hand it over to them, right? Because my agency signed for hospital, it becomes my land. One assembly member, that's okay, sign for them. I will take it when I see the speaker, I give it, for example. It becomes my land. What kind of thinking? What kind of character that is?
We have the president has directed that this issue be investigated. Have you been invited by any committee set up by the president?
Those who the president directed, then they wait now for the committee to invite me. You think the president has nothing to do, has no job to do? You think that, you, assuming somebody tells you that, will you listen to it? But will you listen to it, not fully well, that my time and I saw her cannot. So you to come and tell me that, why would I even have time to even say, okay, let me investigate it? Why would I do that?
40,000 plus.
For 40,000 plus. Calculate it. Please let us focus on what we spoke about land for agriculture
purposes. Would you like to clarify that?
What?
In your initial reaction, whether you personally or your behalf, you were giving explanation about land for agricultural purposes somewhere in Buhari or so.
That's not what I said. The never said so. What my friend said, look, George or Trump was given by Buhari. How does that become my son? That's the point I'm making. People apply for land for agriculture. People apply for land for agriculture. And what I've always said, he must have to tell us when with this command, not giving you come around the speculator, which has always been happening in the FCT. Some people will tell you mass housing. For 5 years, nothing has happened. They begin to spread the land and start selling. So these are the kind of things you face every day. And when you don't take, you see, when you're trying to correct certain things, you know that people will also fight you back. But we're taking a decision that, look, we have to revoke if you don't do this. People will also make sure that they fight you back. So some of us were not talking about that. And with the kind of thing we have achieved, people are not confident about it. So they will do everything to derail you or to make sure that all that rubbishes what you have achieved. But we cannot be distracted. Never.
When you talk politics, you don't base words and you shoot straight. You mentioned Adamawa.
You told me
Adamawa is a state.
You told me that you will come to politics.
Adamawa, we are very into politics.
Hold on, don't mix up. Don't mix up.
Because we are not using Adamawa, that's why I want to know. But Adamawa is very interesting.
You are taking my time. Tomorrow now, you say we are spending 1 hour. We didn't spend 1 hour. They are the one taking that. You say you will speak politics. Let us wait for politics section to come.
Politics. We are moving to politics. Who is Adamawa that is behind this issue that you said?
Does that affect Nigeria? I'm not talking about what would affect, what affects
Talking about policy, yes. We have clearly seen that you have reconciled with your political godson. Yeah, we've seen you at different places, events, and there is obvious peace has obviously returned, to Rivers State. But beyond that, like I said earlier on, tongues are also wagging. What really went down? How are you able to get this reconciliation? Some people say he has traded his mandate away. So many things. Okay, let's hear from you.
Well, let me just tell you this. Those of you who hear where tongues are wagging, I have never had, I don't owe anybody any explanation how peace was achieved. What's important is that peace. Yes. Do you like peace? Yes. So, what are you going to benefit from how the peace was achieved? The most important thing is, do you have peace? Yes. At what cost? What cost?
Perhaps you could help discountenance publications that are saying that one of the terms for agreement was he was not going to come for...
Was that what if that, did he tell you that? Did he tell you that?
That's what we're seeking to
No, you cannot say for good. I'm not going to run an election. So if you say that was the decision, then he should be able to be the one to tell you. What's my business? He has never spoken to you on that. You are the ones who are promoting disunity. Making money for your stations. Inviting people to come to your station to talk. Now, the well has died. No more oil. So you are not happy. Everybody, let me tell you, it's most unfortunate when I hear people say something you have no facts, you have no evidence. You just speculate, maybe not. So how do you do that? And let me tell you, it is not in your position. We settled, and we went to Mr. President never invited us. Mr. President never called a meeting, you say this, you say this. The bit I can tell you, the government met with the House of Assembly, the government met with the National Assembly, privately, the government met with the leaders. And they said, now have you settled? And you now go and tell President we have settled. President never one day. And that's what people do that. Oh, President did this. President had to force something on people. You don't even know anything. You just sit down because no more money will come out to give you to appear and arise.
We want to know the terms of the reconciliation. The terms of the reconciliation.
Listen, were you part of the peace? Have you ever wanted the invited us to come and make peace? So what is their business now? But all you have been doing is how you can get somebody from Rivers, go to Arise, instruct somebody, invite somebody to go to TVC, talk about against this person, invite them to go to a news center, AIT. Now it's no longer available. It's no longer available. And you are not comfortable. And it is my duty to make you to be comfortable. I'm not going to give you that comfort.
It is the issues that oftentimes...
What are the issues? You know
there is an emergency rule in River State. So now that peace has come, what are the chances that that emergency rule will come to an end?
When the president comes, you will ask president.
You have his ears. You have his ears. We hope that you give...
Did I declare state of emergency? If I declare, then you can ask me.
When you met with the president,
yes,
and clearly informed him that peace has returned in Rivers State,
yes,
did you ask him when he is likely going to call off the emergency rule? What was his body language like?
Did I ask him when he would declare state of emergency? I would ask him when he would. How can something I was going to party to? He want me to go and buy market. I don't know when it's
But that's your thing.
The last time, listen. What is my state of the point we're making that? Why not be comfortable that peace has come?
The last time
Why you cry more than the belief?
The last time we had this kind of resolution, there was like a paper agreement. Something was put into paper. You had agreement with Mr. President.
Was it fulfilled?
It wasn't.
So any of the ones who saw that paper and said this was it to make peace, you started saying, oh, this is one-sided. Now speculate. You will see any paper, speculate. I allow you to continue to speculate. It's not my business. All I know, peace has come. If you are not satisfied with that peace, there's nothing we can do. But what is important, peace has returned. Whatever thing anybody says is not my business.
Is it true that you have resolved that Fubara will not go for second term? Did you resolve that?
I said, that is not part of your problem. It is not part of your problem. If you want to go and ask Mura. I mean, when I hear certain things people will talk, okay, from what I read we are saying, that is said, I will appoint the national administrators. They win the election. Come on. What do people cause crisis?
So that there is a concern.
No,
it is an operation in a
what I'm making the concern is that it makes it more intelligent when you come out to the public. How does anybody say one person will appoint local government chairman? How? No, how do you say that? Is it by appointment? No election will be done. So all you do is sit in your house and sit in the last camp here. Abodua, I've appointed you. Abotoro, you have been appointed. Dagana, you have been appointed. How can we talk? How can we reason this way? We cannot. I assume somebody comes to tell you that. We didn't know Sahima, come on. If you tell the local, it's like he will preside over his team. Maybe if we're the same party, for example, we want to sponsor people to run an election, will I have a role to play? It's understandable. That's understandable. But for you to say he will appoint chairman of the government. I mean, I don't know who does that. Even president cannot sit in his office and have 8 years. People recommend to him in states. So is it not correct? So he cannot know everybody in the 36 states. That's not possible. That's even appointment too. Not one of election. How do you do that? It's like president will appoint all the governors of 36 states. How can you be anybody sit down and even say that is part of what was agreed? How can anybody say that?
Away from what was agreed, can I just ask you that the peace that we're going to have, or that we have in Rivers State now, is it peace for all times? All things are for
What is their prayer?
Isn't that what we are repeating here? We want peace.
That is their prayer. Let it be so. How are you going to ask me this? I said there's peace. You're not asking me, is it for peace for all time or for short time?
All things forgiven.
Whatever you pray for us, that's what we have.
So I guess the reason we're pressing a bit is because, first off, you're from Rivers State, and the fact that there is an emergency rule is a continued aberration from what democracy should be. So we would think that, maybe you
It is provided under the Constitution.
Yes, but it is still in a democracy.
Yes, but that is allowed. Because when you have a crisis like this, and that's why it calls for it. Do you want a crisis situation? Okay, take for example, the Supreme Court said, if there's no election for local government, there should not be money. Right? Right. Is that correct?
Yes.
Now, if you go back there, there's no local government election, and money is not given to the local government, how will the workers be paid? Do you know that for the emergency situation, the crisis that we have seen now, the crisis you would have seen in local government, where workers will not be paid. The crisis you would have seen in the state, where civil servants will not be paid because there's no budget. And that's why it calls for it. Look, do this pending one or situations. So if you go back now, no local government election, how do they get funds? How do they get funds to run? We're just only being just on one track. We're not looking at a holistic picture. The only thing that saved our state is the emergency rule that has kept the Supreme Court judgment not to be implemented. If you don't do everything now, and you put it, you don't need a state of emergency, how does money come? How does money come? Answer me. 5 of you answer me. Answer me. How does it come?
Are you optimistic now? Like my colleague did say earlier, you've had these reconciliations, so to speak, in the past. Do you have that optimism this time that is going to work?
Why would I be pessimistic? Why would I be pessimistic? When you asked before, they are not telling that we must do something with truth. You have interviewed us severally, and I said, with truth, there will be peace. Did I tell you there was peace then? Did I tell you? Now, I'm not told there's peace. So, the difference is clear now. Do you believe there will be no peace?
As another state.
No. Do you believe there will be no peace?
We believe there will be peace. If you...
I'm surprised.
Depending on you.
Depending on me.
Because as an elder...
What is your role to make us have peace? By carrying fake news? That's what I'm saying.
If you help us with the terms of this...
We have made peace.
So that's enough for
the people that supported sin. All the former governors that supported sin is from
No. See, that one thing you must understand in life, the decisions you take, some people may not be happy. There are people who will always benefit when there's crisis.
Okay.
There are people who say, look, Who make money? Let me go to television and abuse wicked. They make money. Now such money is no longer affordable. So how would they be happy? There are those who tell live television, not a family member. Go on live television 3. And say how illegal and even though they are not from the state. Now it's no longer affordable. Would they be happy? Do you know what's called oil well? Where your oil is flowing. Now the oil has died. You will not even be happy. So such people, you don't bother about it. What's important, the key players have they accepted peace? Yes.
All right. Let's make this a little bit national now.
Yes.
Let's talk about national politics.
Okay.
The PDP, more or less, two factions now. During the week, during this week, one faction attempted to have a meeting, another faction attempted to have a meeting. They were disrupted. Along the line, your name kept coming up that you were the one that instigated security men to seal off the venue of the meeting of the other side.
I don't know how you created the faction. Which are the factions? When you say there are factions, you must know the factions. Which are the factions?
There's a faction, the faction that is supported, of course, is the faction that has Senator Sam Anyanwu as National Secretary. The other faction has another person as Secretary.
Who's that? Well, tell us now.
There's an acting secretary that was appointed by the governor of the PDP. By the governor's of the PDP.
Sometimes when I say
Koshedo or something like that.
I'm sorry to use that word. This democracy will survive with the role you play. This democracy will survive with the role you play. And you must play that role in sincerity and in knowing that you are going to investigate this thing, you can stand by it. There are no two meetings right. I was written a letter by the national chairman and secretary to provide security that they want to hold their expanded caucus meeting. They held their meeting there. All the governors were there. Where is one that he said they did not allow people to hold it? The party wrote a letter.
The meeting was supposed to hold in Wadata House.
It was held in Wadata House.
So what about the meeting that held in what's the name of the
Bauchi?
Yeah,
that's why I will go and investigate. Governor first of all met in the governor's lodge, finish the meeting, and then now want to hold the expanded caucus at the Wadata House.
Honorable Minister, the Board of Trustees BOT meeting was to take place at Wadata Plaza by 10 a.m. Most of the BOT members got to Wadata Plaza and the place was sealed.
No, that's not correct.
They were locked out.
No, that's not correct. First of all, you cannot hold a meeting without the party knowing that you want to hold a BOT meeting. They have already scheduled a meeting to be held at Wadata. And then wrote a letter that they need security to be there for the expanded or whatever meeting. So when you come for such a meeting, and that's not the meeting you are coming for, the police will tell you, no, this is not the meeting that's taking place. What is taking place here from what we have is expanded caucus and meeting. And then what they did, that is the problem we're talking about, procedure. As written by the national chairman and secretary, requesting for this. And you are saying that I went and disrupted it. I mean, it's not fair.
Let's look at...
It's not fair.
But one faction of DPDP now has headed for the ADC.
Which faction?
Atiku faction. former Vice President Atiku has led a faction of the PDP to this.
Let's talk about a coalition that is on now. There's a coalition, and the move is to take on 2027. I put up a slide.
Of the coalition. What did they say? Why are they the coalition?
They want to take out this current administration and come in. And you... Sorry?
Because
they feel that they are not doing enough.
Fine. Let me just... show me. I'll take them one by one. Now let me ask you. I heard the verse say, to rescue Nigeria. Nigerians are angry. The man was Senate president for how many times?
8 years.
8 years. You know?
Yeah.
Nigerians were happy. Nigerians were happy when he was Senate president 8 years. And there was no single project to work. Not one. He was flying with the helicopter to go to Togo. Nigerians were not angry then. Nigerians are only angry now. It's not correct. When the Nanachi was minister for 8 years, Nigerians were not angry. When Nigeria became indebted, Chinese loan, Nigerians were happy. It's now Nigerians are angry. He went and made Nigeria to so much indebted with loans. That time Nigerians were happy. You see, it's unfortunate for we use Nigerians and play politics up and down. When you are angry with me, Nigerians are not happy. The only time Nigerians are happy is when you have power. The moment you are not under power, Nigerians are angry. You quarrel with your boss, Nigerians are angry. You do get anything for the tribune, Nigerians are angry. I saw a Siraki, a Seriki or what?
Siraki.
What happened to Nigeria? Nigerians are happy.
At the same time.
You said it yourself that you play politics with Nigeria.
What I'm saying, they are saying Nigerians are angry. They want to rescue Nigeria. So I'm asking this simple question. What happened to the Nigeria? Nigerians were happy then. I'm coming. I will take them one by one. When I met you, when we took heavy loan from China, things were well with Nigeria. Nigerians were not angry. Right? When they went to APC in 2015 and took over the reins of power in 2023, Nigerians are happy.
So that every opposition...
Excuse me. Was it under Tinubu's government that banditry came? Was it under his government that banditry came? Yeah. Okay, no under his government. What is he doing? To solving the problem he met. If you, I read what Attorney Maladi said, that not is so embarrassing. He was Attorney General. You know what happened in this country? Why are people thinking that Nigerians are become so foolish? That you use Nigerians all the time. Nigerians are angry. What is Nigerians angry? That you did not make it. This is a man who has just home for 2 years. You were Senate president for 8 years. You were speaker for 4 years. What did you do to make Nigeria not to be angry? You were a governor in Sokoto State. Some people were happy and refused to elect the person you brought. What kind of politics are we playing?
And it's even about the likes of Rahul Farid Boshola that were very close to the Mr. President.
That's what I'm trying to say. When you quarrel with me, who's able to resolve their problem with me? He said like that, angry. When you are good with him, you never know that I'm not angry.